Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the first thing I did was assemble all my patterns and then use it to cut out the fabric that I want to use. So I just placed it on it and cut it out. The next thing I did was to iron interfacing on all my pieces on the wrong side of it. So the next thing I do is to just set it and see in order of how I'm going to sew it. So I'm going to start with my cup and I'm just going to sew it like that, and then I went ahead and do the same thing on the lining as well. So after sewing it, I'll just come back and show you. So I actually iron on interfacing on all of my pieces except the lining part of the body. So I went ahead and then sew it and then iron it like that. So I open it out and iron it just to make sure that it lays flat. So as for the lining, I'm not going to be ironing it. I could actually do it in two ways: fold it into some parts and then run stitches on it both sides. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be taking my body and I'm going to be stitching it, also my lining. So when I'm done, I'm just going to place it like this, iron it, and then I'm going to first assemble my lining piece, making sure the seam matches, and then back to back I want the front cup to be at the front and then the back to be at the back, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on my main fabric. So I'm just going to gently sew along like that. So when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a seam at that on the both side. So at the end, I'm just going to make sure everything matches each other and I'm going to sew it like that. I'm going to also do that to the back side. So but before I do that, I'm going to actually make sure that after sewing that, I'm going to open it out and then top stitch on it. So after sewing it, I'm going to open it like that and top stitch on it. So I'm going to take my back piece and then do that on it, making sure that they both matches, and I'm going to go ahead and do so on my front. You can see that I've top stitched and I've also went ahead to press it down. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is attaching my back piece to my front piece, making sure that I am actually taking my lining out of the way because I want to stitch it just like this. So when I'm done, I'm just going to do that and come back and show you. So I'm just making sure I put the right side to the right side and I don't want to make any mistakes here. So I'm going to open it up like that and then sew it straight up from the lining part. So I'm done now. You can see how I sew it. So this is it. The whole piece is together now. So at this point, if you want to make sure that you put your lacing at the back, you can just reduce 1 inch at your back and then put on the lacing. So I'm just going to go ahead and practicalize it, although I may not use it because I don't want to put lacing. But if you want it lace, it's just to use 1 inch or 1.5 inches to use and set that line, and then use your zigzag stitch to make sure that everything is lay flat before you actually use your lining to actually cover it out, if that makes sense. Okay, just like that. So I'm going to practice it here actually. So I went ahead and used my zigzag stitch to bring it down before I actually go ahead and, so when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and stitch my down part too before I actually go ahead and stitch that zip area or zipper area, whichever way you know how to call it. So when I'm done, I'm just going to trim everything out, and then from this side here, I'm going to use my seam ripper to actually bring out a little bit of that area on the lining so that I can use it to turn all of my pieces inside out. And when I'm done, I'm just going to press that and then use my machine to stitch it, so it's going to just be inside. So that's a little bit of trick I learned how to do. So I'm just going to go ahead, bring everything out, iron it, and then my upper part is done. The reason why I'm actually doing this upper part separately and not joining it as shown in my picture is because I want to be able to wear this separately. So don't worry, at the end of the day, everything is still going to match out. Thank you so much for watching. So next video, I will show you how I put that sleeve. Thank you.